Good morning or good afternoon, fans. Big Al here on. Welcome to another edition. All stories. Let's want to read any of them. Go to www.radioinsight.com/headlines. That being said, let's jump right into it. And our lead story comes to us from Odyssey as they promote Corey Crockett to director of programming on Central Content Team. And this story is dated August 18th, 2023. It's going to take a second for it to load. There it is. All right. Odyssey has announced the promotion of Corey Crockett to Director of Programming. Crockett joined Odyssey in November 2019 as an evening host on the company's LGBTQ plus station Channel Q and held multiple roles as the company's Rochester and Syracuse stations from 2013 to 2019. Sorry. He has also served as a digital content producer for WPIX TV in New York. All right. Our next story takes us to Philadelphia as WMGK to debut the Matt Cord Show with Steve Vazzalotti during Morning Drive. And this is also dated August 18th. All right. Following the retirement of John DeBella in June, Beasley Media's classic rocker 1029 WMGK Philadelphia has announced that midday host Matt Cord will move up to the day part, joined by DeBella's former producer and co-host Steve Vazzalotti. Cord has spent the past 30 years on air in Philly, starting at sister rock station 93.3 WMMR before a long run in afternoons at WPLY Y100, which is an alternative station. Following the 2005 demise of WPLY, Cord would return to WMMR as evening host before moving to mornings at their sister variety hit station 9020. He began his radio career in Long Island at 106.1 WBLI and at 92.7 WLIR FM. Cord has also served as an in-arena host for the NBA's Philadelphia 76ers since 1997. Vazzalotti joined the station in 2017 as a part-time board op for the John DeBella Show before rising to producer and co-host. The Matt Cord Show with Steve Vazzalotti will debut on WMGK Tuesday, September 5th from 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. All right. Okay, here's a story I've been covering at length over the past few years. A bankruptcy judge approves October auction for Ed Stoltz stations. Let's quickly go ahead and read this. Judge August Landis of the United States Bankruptcy Court District of Nevada approved on Thursday court-appointed trustee Michael Carmel's plan to auction off the station assets of Ed Stolz's Royce International Broadcasting. Any interested party must submit a bid by 5 p.m. Pacific time on Monday, October 23rd. The auction will then take place on Thursday, October 26th, with a court hearing to approve the winning bidders on Tuesday, November 14th. Each station would be sold with their equipment in an as-is basis, with bidders able to make an offer for one or all of the associated licenses, with participants providing evidence that they have the finances to close the purchase and make a deposit equal to 10% of their bid. The licenses up for bid are 92.7 KREV Alameda, San Francisco, which has just recently switched its format from dance music to hip hop. 97.7 KRC KFM Mecca, Palm Springs, California. 95.5 translator K238AK and 98.1 translator K251BX in Palm Desert, California. 790 KBET Winchester and 103.1 translator K276GX Las Vegas and 104.3 KFRH North Las Vegas. VCY America will have a stalking horse bid offering $4.5 million for all of the stations, with the exception of KBET/K276GX. The organization originally had a deal with former trustee Larry Patrick to purchase KFRH, KRC KFM, and KREV for $6 million. After Stoltz temporarily regained control of the licenses and had the original deal terminated, VCY made the same $4.5 million offer as part of a deal to drop its $627,366 claim against Stoltz's company. Should another company win the auction, VCY will receive a $150,000 breakup fee, and any other bid for all of the licenses must surpass VCY's offer by at least $250,000. Carmel has currently entered a programming agreement with Autopilot FM to program the stations. Only KREV is currently operating, with the station flipping this week from dance music to hip hop as 92.7 The Hustle. Okay, here's a big national story we can talk about. Michelle Beadle and Cody Decker join Mad Dog Sports Radio. This is dated August 17th, 2023. Mad Dog Sports Radio, heard on Sirius XM Channel 82, has announced the addition of a new noon to 3 Eastern, 9 a.m. to noon Pacific show hosted by Michelle Beadle and Cody Decker. Beadle currently serves as host of an NBA show for FanDuel TV and special correspondent for the San Antonio Spurs. She has previously been an anchor for ESPN, hosting NBA Countdown, Sports Nation, Get Up, and the network's NBA coverage. At NBC, hosting NFL Kickoff, and reporter and host for the Yes Network. A former professional baseball player, Decker has also hosted a podcast for Odyssey with his wife Jennifer Sturger, and has done work for Fox Sports 1, MLB Network, Bally Sports, and Stadium. Beto and Decker will replace Dog Days, hosted by Danny Cannell and Dusty Dvorak. The duo will remain with SiriusXM, hosting mornings on SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84, which will expand an hour to run from 6 to 9 a.m. Also at Mad Dog Sports Radio, morning host Evan Cohen announced his exit from the channel's Morning Men ahead of his reported move to mornings at ESPN Radio. All right, we're headed to Kalamazoo, Michigan for a couple of stories as one DJ enters the station and another leaves. All right, our first will be Dana Marshall returns to WKFR, and this is dated August 17th, 2023. Six months after exiting Town Square Media Kalamazoo, Dana Marshall is returning to the cluster. Marshall departed his roles as cluster director of content and program director and morning host at their top 40 station 103.3 WKFR in March to relocate to South Bend, Indiana as a program director and midday host at Sound Management LLC's U93 or WNDV FM South Bend, which is also a top 40 station, as a program director and midday host. He will return to those positions on Monday, August 23rd, which is this coming Monday. This will mark Marshall's third stint at WKFR as he began his career there from 1990 to 1994 before returning as program director in 2014. In a TikTok confirming his return, Marshall said when the good people up at corporate at Town Square Media said, "Hey, Dana, we really want you to get back. We really want you." Let me rephrase that. When the good people up at corporate of Town Square Media said, "Hey, Dana, we really want to get you back. I sold my house in Kalamazoo. I bought a new house in South Bend. I moved my fiance and my dogs. I said, man, I don't know, but you guys kept sending these messages, and I realized my home is in Kalamazoo. That's where I belong. Long story short, I'll be back on the air in Kalamazoo during mornings at 103.3 WKFR starting this coming Monday morning from 6 to 10 a.m. And I cannot wait to be back on the air and be back in Kalamazoo." Marshall's return to the station follows the exit on Monday of his former co-host Chelsea Rose, which ironically enough will be our next story. Here it is. Chelsea Rhodes depart WKFR. And this story is dated August 16th, 2023. After 3 years in morning drive at Town Square Media's 103.3 WKFR, Kalamazoo, Michigan, technically assigned to Battle Creek, Chelsea Rose has departed the station. Rose joined WKFR in September 2020 after 4 years co-hosting mornings at Vero Beach Broadcasting's 93.7 WGYL in Vero Beach, Florida, Rose originally teamed with former WKFR program director Dana Marshall until his departure in March to join WNDV in South Bend and has hosted morning solo since. Rose wrote, quote, "Today was my last day on air at 103.3 KFR in Kalamazoo. I had hoped to have the chance to say goodbye and convey my gratitude to the community on air, but unfortunately, I was not given that chance. I do want to thank the Southwest Michigan community for welcoming me with open arms when I first moved here 3 years ago. While I won't be on your morning radio anymore, I'll still be around. Change is hard and really scary, but that's also what makes it life kind of fun, right? Can't even talk today. Pitiful. All right, from Kalamazoo to the Twin Cities, Vaunt Leak joins KDWB for Nights. And this story is also dated August 16th. Just weeks after joining iHeartMedia's News Talk 1040 WHO Des Moines, Iowa, as morning show producer and sister station 1075 Kiss FM KKDM as midday host, Vaunt Leak has gotten the proverbial call to the majors as he will join fellow top 40 station 101.3 KDWB Richfield, Minneapolis, St. Paul as evening host. Sorry. Leak, who just graduated from New Jersey's William Patterson University in May, served as program director of the school's alt hip hop station, Brave New World, or 88.7 WPSC, Wayne, New Jersey, for the past 3 years, and previously interned at Sirius XM. During his tenure at WPSC, Leak won awards for Best College Morning Show in the country, Best College On-Air Personality in the country, Best College Program Director in the country twice, and the station won the 2021 Marconi Award for College Radio Station of the Year. Quite a few accolades for this young DJ. Leak takes the evening spot vacated by E. White following his promotion to mornings at Salt Lake City's 97.1 ZHT earlier this month. All right, here's another big national story. Nights with Alice Cooper to end syndication run. This story is also dated August 16, 2023. I am sweating, y'all. All right. This is going to be a quick one. After 19 and a half years in syndication, United Stations Radio Network has informed affiliates that Nights with Alice Cooper will come to an end next month. Cooper's show debuted in January 2004 at 93.3 KDKB Mesa, Phoenix, before moving to its sister classic rock station 100.7 KSLX Scottsdale, following KDKB's flip to alternative rock in 2014. The final weekday show will be delivered on Friday, September 8th. Among the stations carrying the show are KGGO in Des Moines, WMMQ East Lansing, KOZZ Reno, WEZX Scranton, and KLPX Tucson, in addition to stations in Australia and the United Kingdom. They have a couple of weeks to experience Nights with Alice Cooper before he goes away. Okay, let's go. Okay, here we go. All right, we are now headed to Seattle as Kurt Cruz and Jen Pyrak move to mornings at KPLZ, and Jeff Connell adds program director duties. And this story is dated August 15th. Whew. It's like I can't take this sweat no more, y'all. All right. Kurt Cruz and Jim Pyrak moves to mornings at KPLZ. Jeff Connell really, adds program director duties. This story is dated August 15th. Lotus Communications Hot AC station Star 101.5 KPLZ Seattle has announced the return of Kurt Cruz and Jim Pyrak to mornings at the station. Cruz has been with KPLZ since 2002, first as afternoon host before moving to mornings in December 2018 until Lotus's takeover of the station at the end of 2021. He has since continued serving as assistant program director and hosting nights and middays at the station. Meanwhile, Pyrak has been with KPLZ since 1994 and has served as promotions director since 1996. She joined the Kent and Allen Morning Show in 2005 and followed Kent Phillips to afternoons in 2018 before moving to an off-air role when Lotus acquired the station. They succeeded Jeff Moog and Angie Parker, who were let go on Monday. Yeah, this is a rather long story. Jeff Connell, program director and afternoon host of 1071 K Hits, KTHI, a classic hits station up in Boise, has been promoted to regional program director, adding oversight of Star 101.5. A Seattle area native, Connell has previously worked at 93.3 Cube, 106.1 KBKS, and multiple iterations of 96.5 in the market. He has also programmed for the Christian AC Way FM network in both Denver and its national office in Nashville before relocating to Boise in 2014 as operations manager for Town Square's cluster there. Connell joined KTHI in his current role in 2020. He tells us, first, we have announced that Kurt Cruz and Jim Pyrak will be taking over mornings. Both are Seattle and Star 101.5 veterans who have been a part of successful morning shows on this station for many years. Jen will also continue to serve as promotions and marketing director, and Kurt as assistant program director. Not only are Kurt and Jen well known to our audience and the entire Puget Sound region, but they are also close friends and colleagues who have worked side by side for years. They bring unique perspectives and life experiences anchored by with the awareness that they have been part of our community for decades. Kurt and Jen's love and passion for Star 101.5 has been evident throughout the years as they have each been part of extremely successful eras of mornings on this station. In addition, I have added programming responsibilities at KPLZ FM in addition to KTHI FM Boise, and now am serving as regional program director for Lotus. A desire to return to the Northwest meant a relocation to Boise in 2014, where he was operations manager for Town Square Media's 6 stations up in Boise. And then a move to Lotus Boise in 2020, where he is the PD and afternoon host of 1071 K Hits, in which he will remain in that role as he adds his new duties at Star 101.5. Jeff has always felt connected to Seattle and is excited to be a part of the Star 101.5 team. It really doesn't say that, but and working closely with us assistant program director Kurt Cruz, and all of the Lotus Seattle team. Connell fills the void that Connell rather fills the role that had most recently been held by Lisa Adams, who stepped down at the end of July to relocate back to Boise. Yeah, that was a pretty long story. Okay, now you know what? We're gonna stay with KPLZ as Moog and Angie exit the station. So this was pretty much a lead-in to this story dated August 14th. All right. John Moog and Angie Parker have exited mornings at Lotus Hot AC Star 101.5 KPLZ Seattle. This one's pretty long, but it's not as long as the last one. The duo joined KPLZ in December 2021 from Town Square's Hot AC Mix 106 KCIX Boise. Moog previously hosted mornings at Alternative Rocker 91X, 91.1 XETRA FM in San Diego. Also at country station The Wolf 92.5 KWOF Denver, which is now a sports station, and a syndicated show that aired in Hartford and New London, Connecticut, Burlington, Vermont, and Searcy, Arkansas. He has also had 3 stints at Vegas Top 40 station 98.5 KLUC, and a brief run in nights at Tampa Bay's Hot 101.5 WPOI. Parker had previously worked with Moog at KLUC, and the syndicated show joined KCIX in July 2020. Moog mentions, "We've had a wonderful experience living in Seattle, connecting with the community and growing the Star audience. We're in tough economic times, so we get it, but we're available now. In our first 12 months, we grew the morning show from 13th in women ages 25 to 54 to top 5. By 18 months, July 23rd, we reached number 3 women 25 to 54 and number 2 women 35 to 54. A great book to leave on. We launched the 12-day Moog and Angie Mornings Toy Drive, collecting countless amounts of toys, bikes, cash, and gift cards for families here in the Pacific Northwest. Partnered with some amazing clients for a ton of great endorsements. Our show was nominated in 2 separate categories in the Radio Got Talent competition, and we're just getting started. We're available immediately and are certainly looking to move forward as a team. We have a very short non-compete, but are also willing to relocate and again are available immediately." More details about the show and contact info can be found at moogandangie.com. So we did back-to-back stories on WKFR and now on Star 101.5. All right, this will take us to Raleigh-Durham as Abby Lee joins WQDR as assistant program director, music director, and midday host. This story is dated August 14, 2023. Sorry again. All right, here we go. After announcing her departure from Guarantee Media Country Station 100.7 The Tiger, WTGE Baton Rouge last month, Abby Lee is joining Curtis Media's 94.7 WQDR fellow country station in Raleigh as an assistant program director, music director, and midday host. Lee most recently served as program director and afternoon co-host at The Tiger, a station she would join in 2019 as music director and midday host. She would move to afternoons in June 2020 to join Brittany Rose for Off the Record and had program director duties in March 2022. Prior to Okay, let's try that again. Sorry about that. Prior to WTGE, Lee hosted afternoons at Cumulus's country station 99.1 KXKC in Lafayette, Louisiana. Lee fills the opening created by Heather Davis's resignation back in April. And our final story this week is Cumulus sues former KTCK midday host over alleged non-compete violations. This story is dated August 13th. After resigning from their noon to 3 show at Cumulus Media's sports talker The Ticket, which is 1310 KTCK AM Dallas-Fort Worth and 96.7 KTCK FM Flowered Mound Dallas-Fort Worth, after failing to come to terms on a new contract last month, Dan McDowell and Jake Kemp launched a Patreon-based themselves in a legal battle with their former employers. Yep, this is going to be a long one here too. Cumulus first filed a lawsuit against the duo on August 4th, alleging that McDowell and Kemp's new Dumb Zone subscription podcast violates the terms of their non-compete agreements, taking over digital assets previously belonging to the station's Hang Zone brand for their show and repurposing them, and the show focuses on identical subject matter, attracting the same audience as the station. Cumulus asked for a temporary restraining order and injunction to stop production of the show, but was denied as they did not serve the request to McDowell and Kemp. The duo responded with complaints against Cumulus to the National Labor Relations Board, and a response to the lawsuit stating their non-compete clauses were overly broad and not legally enforceable, and that claims of disparagement and taking digital assets belonging to the company were made up in retaliation. Then lawyers argued that the new podcast is not in competition as it has no live audience, no set schedule, no callers, news breaking, advertisements, and other live terrestrial radio activities, and nothing that many other KTCK hosts have their own podcasts and revenue generating ancillary content such as Twitch streams that are not owned by the company, being Cumulus. TheHangZone.com, which Cumulus alleged was repurposed for the new podcast, has never been owned by Cumulus, but instead states McDowell and former co-host Bob Strum were paid to have the sites built and operated out of their own pocket, to maintain publicity for their content. The suit also notes that their exit from Cumulus was due to wanting, quote, to engage in other independent media pursuits, end quote, while working at The Ticket, in particular hosting a podcast independent of the station. The company offered a show on their podcast network with revenue sharing opportunities instead. Cumulus released a statement to Dallas area television station WFAA TV that they were, quote, very disappointed that the actions of Mr. McDowell and Mr. Kemp have necessitated litigation. Throughout their appointment, we offered our unwavering support, engaged in good faith negotiations for contract renewals, and reached a mutual agreement on salary matters, while expressing our eagerness to collaborate on expanding their presence to new platforms. Despite our best efforts, we were unable to reach an agreement. Okay, we'll close with this. McDowell told D Magazine, when it came to the decision to start the podcast, we very deliberately decided to pull it or put it behind a paywall and to not accept any advertising. And that's because our intention was not to even have the slightest impression that we are trying to compete with the ticket in any way, because we do have some kind of non-compete, a 6-month non-compete. We wanted to honor that. Since we've started releasing shows, we've been approached by local businesses looking to sponsor us, and we told them all, we'll get back to you, next year sometime. And then adding, we didn't really anticipate this level of legal problems because we put it behind a paywall and we refused to accept any advertising. We do not want to affect the ticket's ratings or revenue in any way. That's the main goal. So a little drama between Cumulus and a couple of their former hosts as we wrap up this week's edition of News from the World of Radio. Now, again, we will be back on Friday instead of Saturday, beginning next week, for more radio news from across the country. So look for this to drop at about 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday. So I hope you join me then. In the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching and happy listening. Peace out.